I am 47 years old. My ex-wife is 45. We were married for 19 years. I never thought I would be telling this story, but here I am. And how I caught her will blow your mind. I met Diane at a community center fundraiser in Strongsville. I was 28. She was 26. She was volunteering at the silent auction table. I was there because my boss at the time dragged me along, said it was good for business. We hit it off over coffee and stale donuts, talked for hours about everything and nothing, exchanged numbers, and started dating 3 weeks later. She was working as a dental hygienist at a practice in Medina. Good steady job, benefits. She wanted to maybe go back to school someday, become a dental assistant, then maybe a hygienist instructor. Had her whole career mapped out. I liked that about her. She had direction, I had direction too, just not the traditional kind. I dropped out of Stark Community College after one semester, sitting in classrooms, listening to professors talk about theories that didn't put food on the table or fix anything real. None of it made sense to me. I wanted to work with my hands, build something real, fix things that were actually broken. So I got into the electrical apprenticeship program through Local 573. 4 years of learning from guys who'd been pulling wire since before I was born. Started at Murphy Electric Services as a helper, making $12 an hour, driving a beat-up van with more rust than paint. But I kept showing up, kept learning, kept my mouth shut and my ears open. By year 3, I was running my own service calls. By year 5, I was training the new guys. By year 8, old Murphy was ready to retire, and I had enough saved up to buy him out. Murphy Electric became my shop. Still kept the name, though. It had a good reputation in the community. 35 years of honest work builds something you don't just throw away because your name's on the sign now. We dated for 5 years before I proposed. I was 33, she was 31. Did it at Chippewa Lake, right where we had our first real date. Sunset. Got down on one knee on the same dock where we used to sit and talk about the future. She said yes before I even finished asking. We got married 8 months later. Nothing fancy. Church ceremony, reception at the VFW hall, family and friends, good food, cold beer, decent band. The kind of wedding where everyone actually has a good time instead of checking their watches. My buddy Clay Martinez gave the best man speech, told embarrassing stories about me from our apprenticeship days. Made everyone laugh, including Diane. I helped her through some rough times early on. Her dad got sick around year 2 of our marriage, lung cancer. 40 years at the steel plant will do that to you. She took care of him for 6 months while he fought it. I didn't keep score. That's what you do for family. At least that's what I thought. 2 years after we got married, we bought a house in Medina. Nice ranch. 3 bedrooms, 2-car garage, decent-sized yard. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. Business was good enough. Put 15% down. Fixed-rate mortgage. Room for a workshop in the basement eventually. Perfect for a family when we were ready. But we never quite got ready. We talked about kids in the beginning. First few years of marriage. Said we wanted 2, maybe 3. But she kept putting it off. Wanted to get more experience at the dental office first. Then she wanted to take some continuing education courses. Then she said the practice was understaffed and she couldn't take time off. Then she just stopped bringing it up altogether. I asked her about it once around year 7, brought it up over dinner at Applebee's. She set her fork down, looked at me across the table, and said she wasn't sure she wanted kids anymore. Said her career was fulfilling enough. I was disappointed, but I didn't argue. Figured it was her choice to make. Looking back, I should have seen the writing on the wall. She worked at Medina Family Dental, Dr. Peterson's practice. Been there since before we got married. Good job, steady hours, decent benefits. She made around $48,000 a year with overtime. Combined with my income from the electrical business, we were doing all right. Not rich, but comfortable. We could afford vacations. Took trips to Myrtle Beach every summer. Went to Vegas twice. Had dinner out every Friday night for the first 10 years. Never missed one. Usually hit up Texas Roadhouse or Olive Garden. Sometimes tried new places in Cleveland when we felt adventurous. We made time for each other, or at least I thought we did. Then things started shifting, and I was too busy running service calls to notice. Around year 12, I started noticing changes. Hard to put my finger on exactly what was different. She was working later, coming home after 7 p.m. when the office closed at 5:30. Said Dr. Peterson was having her do inventory. Said she was helping train a new hygienist. Said they were upgrading their computer system, and she was learning the new software. I believed her. I owned my own business. I understood long hours. I understood doing whatever it took to keep the operation running smooth. But then other things started adding up. She was tired all the time, didn't want to go out on Fridays anymore. Our weekly dinner became every other week, then once a month, then not at all. Intimacy dried up. Once a week became twice a month, then once a month, then maybe every few months. I tried talking to her about it. She said it was stress from work, said Dr. Peterson was thinking about retiring and she was worried about job security, said things would get better once the situation stabilized. So I gave her space, month after month, year after year. And for the last year and a half of those years, she used that space to destroy everything we built. The way I found out was pure luck. Or maybe it was divine intervention. I'll let you decide. I was running a service. Call at the Marriott in Independence, corporate account. They had an issue with the conference room electrical that kept tripping breakers during events. I was there for 3 hours, running new circuits, upgrading the panel. While I was working, I noticed my work truck's GPS tracking system was acting up. Company policy, we track all the vehicles for insurance and scheduling purposes. I called Clay Martinez, my buddy who runs the plumbing side of our contractor network, to ask if he was having similar issues with his fleet tracking. That's when Clay mentioned something that made my blood run cold. He said he saw my truck parked at the same Marriott 2 weeks ago during lunch break. Said he waved, but I didn't see him. Problem was, I wasn't anywhere near the Marriott 2 weeks ago. I was running residential calls on the other side of town all day. I hung up the phone and sat in my truck for 20 minutes, trying to process what Clay just told me. Then I got smart. Pulled up the GPS history on my phone. Company system lets me track any of my vehicles in real time and check where they've been. I scrolled back through the past 2 months of data. That's when I found it. 6 different days over the past 8 weeks. All days when I was running calls in Akron or Canton using one of the other work trucks. Days when Diane had asked to borrow my truck to go shopping or run errands. According to the GPS, my truck had been parked at the Marriott for 2 to 3 hours each time. Always between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., I felt like I'd been hit by a freight train. My hands were shaking as I scrolled through the data. Each entry was another nail in the coffin of my marriage. She wasn't shopping. She wasn't running errands. She was at a hotel for hours, while I was busting my ass in Canton, thinking about how much I loved my wife. I didn't confront her. I wanted to. But I learned something important from Clay's divorce 3 years ago. He caught his wife cheating, went home, and had it out with her right then and there. She denied everything, destroyed evidence, got a lawyer first. Clay got taken to the cleaners, lost half his business, paid alimony for 4 years. Clay pulled me aside the night his divorce was finalized, bought me a beer at Murphy's Tavern, and gave me the best advice I ever got. If you ever catch your woman cheating, don't say a word until you've got proof that'll hold up in court, and get yourself a lawyer before she even knows you know. So, that's exactly what I did. I kept my mouth shut and started gathering evidence. I went back through 3 months of GPS data, printed every report, every location, every timestamp, 12 different occasions when my truck was parked at hotels or restaurants during times when Diane was supposedly borrowing it for errands. Then I started checking other things. Credit card statements from our joint account, unusual charges at gas stations near the hotels, ATM withdrawals and amounts. She never took out for regular shopping. Dry cleaning bills for clothes I'd never seen her wear. Everything pointed to the same conclusion. My wife was living a double life, but I still needed more. I needed to know who. I called Clay and told him what I'd found, asked if he could help me out. Clay knew people, bartender at the Marriott, security guy at another hotel, waitress at the restaurant where some of the credit card charges came from. Within a week, Clay had a name, Shane Collins. Loan officer at Medina Community Credit Union, married guy with 2 kids. Clay's bartender buddy recognized the description. Average height, thinning brown hair, drives a silver Honda Pilot, been coming in with different women over the past year, always paid cash. That's when everything clicked. Shane Collins. I knew that name. Diane had mentioned him before. He'd helped us refinance our house 2 years ago. Professional relationship, or so I thought. Now I realize that's when it all started. While he was in our house, looking at our financial records, talking about our future, He was planning to destroy it. I wanted to beat the hell out of him, but that wouldn't fix anything. It would just make things worse for me. Instead, I called my buddy Tommy, who works in IT for the county, asked him to help me get some information on Shane Collins, public records, property ownership, that sort of thing. Tommy found Shane's address in Strongsville, married to Nicole Collins, 2 kids, ages 12 and 9, owned a nice colonial on 2 acres, drove a 2019 Honda Pilot. Everything matched what Clay's bartender friend had described. I had my man. Now I needed a plan. I wasn't just going to confront Diane and let her spin some story. I wasn't going to give Shane a chance to cover his tracks or warn my wife. I was going to hit them both at the same time, with evidence they couldn't deny, in a way that would make sure the whole community knew exactly what kind of people they really were. That's when I decided to call Nicole Collins. Found her number through Tommy's search. It was a risk. She might warn Shane. She might not believe me, but I had a feeling she was already suspicious. Wives usually know when something's wrong, even if they can't prove it. I called her on a Tuesday night around 9 p.m. When she answered, I said, "Mrs. Collins, you don't know me, but we need to talk. I think our spouses are having an affair." There was silence for about 10 seconds. Then she started crying. She'd suspected for months. Shane was working late, taking business trips that didn't add up, coming home smelling like perfume that wasn't hers. Nicole was a fighter. She worked in IT support for a local manufacturing company, made decent money, had 2 kids to think about. She wasn't about to let Shane destroy her family without consequences. We met for coffee the next day. She brought a folder full of evidence she'd been collecting: credit card statements, hotel, receipts, text message screenshots. We compared notes. Our timelines matched perfectly. The days my truck was at the Marriott were the same days Shane told Nicole he was working late or meeting clients. We had them dead to rights. But Nicole had an idea that was even better than anything I'd planned. She worked with a woman whose brother was a process server, professional, discreet, available for hire. Nicole's plan was simple: serve Shane with divorce papers at the credit union during the lunch rush on Friday. Maximum embarrassment, maximum witnesses. Then have Diane served at the dental office during the busiest part of their day. Same timeline. No way for them to warn each other. No way to cover it up. I hired a divorce attorney that Thursday. Best family law guy in Medina County. Told him the whole story. Showed him all the evidence. GPS tracking reports, credit card statements, hotel receipts, photographs of Shane's car at various locations. He said it was the most thorough documentation he'd ever seen from a client. The attorney explained Ohio divorce law, no fault state, so the adultery wouldn't directly impact asset division, but the evidence would be valuable in negotiations, make them more willing to settle quickly. Nobody wants their affair details spread around their workplace. Nobody wants to explain GPS tracking data to their family members. He filed the papers that afternoon. Divorce petition for Diane, cited irreconcilable differences, and included a detailed timeline of the affair. Requested division of marital assets, including the house, joint savings accounts, and retirement funds. I kept the electrical business since I'd started it before marriage and built it with my own hands. That night, I went home and acted normal. Diane came home at her usual time. We had dinner together, watched TV, she seemed relaxed, made small talk about her day at the dental office. Mentioned Dr. Peterson was thinking about bringing in another hygienist, said business was picking up. I nodded and responded like I always did. But inside, I was counting down the hours. Less than 18 hours until her world collapsed. Less than 18 hours until everyone in her professional circle would know exactly what she'd been doing with her lunch breaks. Friday morning, I went to work like normal, had 3 service calls scheduled. Residential work in Medina. I ran my calls, fixed some outlets, replaced a ceiling fan, upgraded a breaker panel, kept checking my phone, waiting for the calls that would come, acting like it was just another Friday. Diane left for work at 7:45 a.m. like always, gave me a kiss on the cheek like always, told me to have a good day like always. 19 years of marriage and she was still lying to my face, still pretending to be the faithful wife while planning her next hotel meeting. At 12:15 p.m., the process server walked into Medina Community Credit Union, found Shane at his desk, talking to a client about a car loan. The server called his name. Shane looked up, probably expecting a delivery or a document drop-off. Instead, he got divorce papers, right there in the lobby, in front of customers, in front of his manager, in front of the tellers who had worked with him for 8 years. According to Nicole's contact, Shane's face went white. He tried to keep his composure, but his hands were shaking as he opened the folder. The client sitting across from him asked if everything was okay. Shane mumbled something about a family emergency. The client left. Shane's manager came over to see what was happening. At 12:30 p.m., another process server walked into Medina Family Dental, found Diane cleaning instruments between patients, called her name, handed her the divorce papers, in front of Dr. Peterson, in front of the other hygienists, in front of the receptionist who'd become her friend over the years. My phone rang at 12:45 p.m. Diane's name on the screen. I let it ring 4 times before I answered. She was hysterical, screaming, crying, asking what was happening, asking why I was doing this to her, asking if this was some kind of mistake. Her voice was so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. I stayed calm, told her to come home, told her we needed to talk, told her to drive carefully. Then I hung up. She called back immediately. I let it go to voicemail. Then she called again and again. 5 calls in 10 minutes. I didn't answer any of them. She walked through the front door at 1:20 p.m., still in her scrubs. Hair pulled back in the ponytail she always wore to work. Face red and blotchy from crying. She'd been crying the whole drive home. Mascara streaked down her cheeks, hands still shaking from the shock. She didn't say anything at first, just stood in the living room looking at me. I was sitting in my recliner, the same chair where I'd watched Browns games every Sunday for 15 years. The evidence folder was on the coffee table, between us, 3 inches thick. GPS reports, credit card statements, hotel receipts, photos. She didn't sit down, just stood there with her hands shaking. Then she asked the question that told me everything I needed to know about who she really was. How did you find out? Not, I'm sorry. Not, let me explain. Not, it's not what you think. Just, how did you find out? Like, the only problem was that she got caught. Like, 19 years of marriage meant nothing compared to covering her tracks better. That's when I knew for certain that the woman I married was gone. Had been gone for a long time. I didn't answer her question. I opened the folder on the coffee table, pulled out the GPS tracking reports, showed her the dates, the times, the locations. 12 different occasions over 3 months, all documented, all time-stamped, all proof that she'd been lying to me for over a year. Her face went white. She sat down on the couch, put her head in her hands. Didn't say anything, for a long time. The silence stretched between us like a canyon. When she finally spoke, she didn't try to deny it. She said she was unhappy, had been for years, said we'd grown apart, said she felt like roommates instead of husband and wife. She said Shane made her feel things she hadn't felt in a long time, made her feel desired, made her feel alive again. She said she never meant for it to go this far, said it started as just conversation, professional relationship, then lunches, then something more. The typical story cheaters tell themselves to justify destroying other people's lives. I listened to every word, let her finish her explanation, watched her try to make sense of what she'd done, try to minimize it, try to make it sound like something that just happened to her instead of choices she made every single day for 18 months. Then I stood up, told her to pack a bag, told her to be out of the house by the end of the week. She asked where she was supposed to go. I told her that wasn't my concern anymore. She could figure it out just like she figured out how to sneak around for a year and a half. She packed 2 suitcases that night, called her sister in Akron, left by 8 p.m. The house felt different without her, quieter, but not sad quiet, peaceful quiet, like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. For the first time in months, I slept through the night. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. She didn't fight much, couldn't really. The evidence was overwhelming, the GPS data, the credit card statements, the hotel receipts Nicole had gathered. She knew she was screwed. We split the house sale proceeds. Each took our own vehicles. I kept the business. She kept her retirement account. But here's the thing about small communities. Word gets around fast. By the following Monday, everyone in our social circle knew what happened. Everyone at the contractors network knew. Everyone at Murphy's Tavern knew. Everyone at the VFW knew. Shane lost his job at the credit union within 2 weeks. Bank policies don't allow loan officers to maintain positions after public scandals involving dishonesty. Nicole kept me updated on Shane's situation. His manager called it a termination for cause, loss of community trust, violation of professional ethics. They couldn't have a loan officer whose personal conduct raised questions about his integrity. Made sense. You don't want someone handling your money when they can't handle their own marriage. Diane lost 3 references when she tried to find a new job. Dr. Peterson wasn't comfortable recommending someone who'd used work time to coordinate personal affairs. Word had gotten around to other dental practices in the area. Small professional community. Everyone knows everyone. She finally found work at a clinic in Canton. Longer commute, lower pay, fresh start where nobody knew her story. Shane's divorce was brutal. Nicole had prepared for war. She'd been documenting everything for months before I even contacted her. Bank statements, credit card records, phone bills, hotel receipts, even photos she'd taken of unexplained charges and suspicious behavior. She had enough evidence to bury him. She got the house, 4-bedroom colonial on 2 acres in Strongsville, paid off, worth about $420,000. She got primary custody of the kids. Shane gets them every other weekend and 2 weeks in the summer. Standard visitation for a father who destroyed his family. Shane pays Wednesday's $800 a month in child support for 2 kids. Ohio guidelines based on his income and custody arrangement. Plus $900 a month in spousal support for 6 years. Nicole gave up career advancement to raise their children. The court recognized that sacrifice. That's $2,700 a month going out, before he pays rent on his new apartment, before he buys groceries, before he pays for gas to visit his kids every other weekend, before he pays for anything else. And loan officers don't make bank. President money, especially loan officers who got fired for cause. Nicole and I stayed in touch during the divorce proceedings. Not romantic, just 2 people who'd been betrayed by the same situation. We'd meet for coffee once a month. Compare notes on how our respective divorces were progressing. She kept me updated on Shane's financial struggles. I kept her updated on Diane's job search difficulties. We both found some satisfaction in watching the consequences play out. Not vindictive satisfaction. Just the quiet knowledge that actions have consequences, that you can't destroy other people's lives without facing some destruction yourself. Nicole landed on her feet. She had her IT job. She had the house. She had her kids full-time. Shane was struggling to afford a 1-bedroom apartment in a complex near the highway, driving a 10-year-old Civic because he couldn't afford the Honda Pilot payments anymore. Diane was renting a studio apartment near her new job in Canton, 40-minute commute each way, making $38,000 instead of the $48,000 she'd made at Dr. Peterson's office. No references, no professional network. Starting over at 45 in a field where reputation matters. I found a smaller place in Medina, 2-bedroom ranch with a 1-car garage, decent workshop space in the basement. All I needed, sold most of the furniture, kept what mattered, started fresh. Business stayed strong. Electrical work doesn't depend on your marital status. People need their lights fixed regardless of your personal drama. If anything, business picked up. Word got around that I was the guy who caught his wife cheating through GPS tracking. Other contractors started asking advice about protecting themselves. About 4 months ago, Diane showed up at Murphy's Tavern. I was there with Clay and some of the guys from Local 573. Friday night after work, same table we'd occupied every week for the past 5 years. She walked in around 8 p.m., looked around until she spotted me, walked over to our table like she belonged there. She looked different, thinner, tired, older. The stress had aged her. Hair wasn't styled like it used to be. Clothes were cheaper. She was driving a beat-up Corolla instead of the Honda Civic she'd driven during our marriage. She asked if she could talk to me privately. I told the guys I'd be back in a few minutes, followed her outside to the parking lot. Same parking lot where we'd celebrated my first big electrical contract 15 years ago. Same place where Clay and I had talked through his divorce. Now, it was the place where my ex-wife was about to learn that some bridges can't be rebuilt. She said she missed me, said leaving me was the biggest mistake of her life, said Shane had left her after 3 months, found someone else, someone younger, someone without the baggage of a destroyed marriage. Apparently, Shane's pattern wasn't limited to married women. He moved on to a 28-year-old teller from another branch, someone with less complications. She said she was struggling financially. The job in Canton didn't pay as much as her old position. She was renting a studio apartment near the clinic. Could barely afford groceries some weeks. Had to shop at Aldi instead of Giant Eagle. Driving a car with 180,000 miles that needed repairs she couldn't afford. She said she'd learned her lesson. Said she wanted to try again. Said she'd do anything to make it right. Said she understood now what she'd thrown away. Said she missed our life together, our house, our routine, our Friday night dinners, everything she'd destroyed for hotel room meetings, with a man who dumped her the moment his divorce got expensive. I looked at her for a long time, searched myself for some feeling, anger, sadness, pity, something. Found nothing. She wasn't my wife anymore. She wasn't my problem anymore. She was just a woman who'd made choices and was living with the consequences. I told her no. Told her I'd moved on. Told her I hoped she figured out her life, but it wasn't going to include me. She stood there crying in the parking lot of Murphy's Tavern, same place where I'd bought her birthday drinks for 10 years. Same place where we'd celebrated anniversaries and promotions and good news. Now, it was just a parking lot where my ex-wife was learning that some choices can't be undone, some damage can't be repaired, some trust can't be rebuilt. I went back inside, finished my beer with the guys, didn't think about her again. That's where I am now, 47 years old, single, rebuilding, working out at Planet Fitness 4 times a week, lost 25 pounds, eating better, sleeping better than I have in years. No more wondering where she is. No more wondering why she's working late. No more walking on eggshells in my own house. Business is doing well. Just landed a contract with the new shopping complex in Strongsville. 6 months of steady work. Good money. Bought a new F-150 last month. Not because I needed to impress anyone. Just because I could afford it and I've always wanted a new truck. Taking weekend fishing trips to Lake Erie with Clay and the guys. Went to a Browns game last month with Tommy and his son. Simple pleasures, no drama, no lies, no wondering if the person sitting next to me is planning to betray me with someone else. Nicole's doing well too. She kept the house. Kids are thriving. She started dating a divorced teacher last year. Good guy. Treats her kids well. Shows up when he says he will. Novel concept. She sends me Christmas cards, updates on the kids. Shane pays his support on time now. Learned his lesson about court enforcement. Shane's still struggling, working at a smaller credit union in Canton, less money, less prestige, still paying that $2,100 every month, still living in the same apartment complex, still driving the old Civic. Nicole says he looks older every time he picks up the kids. The stress of destroyed relationships and financial obligations ages a man fast. If you're going through something similar, remember this. Don't confront without proof. Don't let emotions drive your decisions. Gather your evidence. Get your lawyer. Trust your instincts. Use the tools at your disposal. Modern technology makes it harder to hide things, but you have to be smart about using it. And remember that some people will show you exactly who they are when they think you're not watching. Believe them the first time. Don't make excuses for them. Don't rationalize their behavior. When someone shows you they're willing to destroy your life for their own pleasure, believe them. As for Diane, she made her choice when she decided to use my work truck to meet her boyfriend at hotels. She threw away 19 years of marriage for a man who dumped her the moment his divorce got expensive. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people live with the consequences of their own actions. The real insight here isn't about revenge or justice or getting even. It's about recognizing that the person you married can become a stranger without you even noticing. And when that happens, the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to let them stay a stranger. Some doors, once closed, should never be reopened.